So 1 second, I had to pause the audio. Now we get to move on to the last 3 games, and up next is the 4:30 game on Sunday. Dan knows which one this is. The 49ers traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Once again, these two teams, they have a bitter history. Mostly just from the 49ers, and what happened to them and how the Eagles just rolled over them. The 49ers got back in the regular season, but what the hell does that matter? The 49ers lost the Super Bowl that year. In this game, the Eagles are 4.5-point favorites, Dan. And there's a 44.5-point over-under. That's all I'm going to say, because I kind of want you to take the lead on this one, considering it is your birds. So go for it.
sure. This is how I see it, guys. What's the strength of the Niners? In my opinion, their offense over their defense. I think their defense is dangerous. It's scary, 100%. And that's only because of Robert Saleh. If he was not there, I don't see them being the way they are, the way they dismantled, the way they are. I'm not 100% sure if Warner is going to be in this game. But what I do know is
I saw him climbing.
I saw him climbing the thing.
I don't think he's gonna play though.
No, I don't either.
Probably not.
But
I did see that though.
One thing I do see is the strength of the Niners is their offense, along with the Eagles' defense. So for me, I think this is more of a game. We're good with stopping the run often, depending on how the edge rushers attack Purdy and get pressure on him when he's able to scramble. Yo, listen, I'll say this and I'll give him his flowers. This dude has upgraded in his scrambling ability. And if someone's like, oh, I haven't paid attention, no. I've watched Purdy because everybody wants to talk about how him and Hurts are like the same kind of quarterback and yada, yada, yada and shit like that. It's like, no. I give Purdy that he is a great scrambler. He's able to extend plays like a mother heifer, no issue, no problem. What I haven't seen from him yet is the absolute ability that in clutch situations you need to get the job done. Is party time. Like he's not like he's some there be a lot of times that this dude fails. Like, and I'm not, ready to go and be like, oh, like Purdy's better than Hurts, but at the end of the day, like, the Niners, I feel like this is going to be an extremely close game the entire time. I think it's going to be a defensive heavy game, not because the Niners defense is having a hard time with this. It's because our offensive play calling is having a hard time adjusting to a solid defense. Fangio did say himself that that him and Shanahan friends, they've been cool with each other for so long. He loves his play styles, he loves his play calling, he's a great coach, he respects the shit out of him, and it's because of the fact that the way they call the game and the way both of them really do things, it's like two masterminds going back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
So for me, I think this is not just a talent aspect, this is more of a coaching experience and who's going to catch each other lacking. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like while we have the matchup of Shanahan and Fangio, like that's freaking sick as shit to really think about. I shit bricks thinking about Patullo versus Saleh and their experience in terms of play calling and what they could do in a playoff situation. The Birds being if this was in San Fran, I say we lost this game immediately. Like I see this being a hard game, especially after the game that the Niners just had against the Seahawks, getting absolutely
drained,
destroyed. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's definitely like mentally taxing to get that done to you. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be the Eagles don't start off hot, which we often do. We slam the gas and then we overheat the engine and we have a hard time getting on in the second half. So like, if we can get hot in the beginning like we normally do, I feel like with the damage the Seahawks have done last week, it starts to really mentally mess you up a little bit, saying like, damn, we're really not that same team. But with that being said, I see the Eagles coming out with this literally by the freaking skin of their teeth, probably. But it's in the Eagles, it's in Philly, and that's the reason why I feel confident. It's this is the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is one of the matchups that I feel as if there's more to it than just football. There's other things to it.
I totally agree.
that make it more dangerous for Philly than I think people understand. So I'm still gonna go with the Birds, but I'm going with the Birds 30-27.
Yes, 30-27. Wow. Okay, because I I will start off by saying I agree with you. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I kind of feel differently about like the game, the potential game script, right? And like how this game will shake out, because I don't really think Patullo is going to have success versus Sala despite the offensive talent, because it's been there all year, you know. And you guys have gone up against exposable defenses, and it's just kind of like 15 to 20
Mhm.
points every week, especially more recently. Like since the bye, things have never been like the same for this Eagles offense. But defensively, I love that we get Fangio versus Shanahan with the Eagles defense and their roster. I think Trent Williams will play. He's questionable. Even him at like 90% completely changes like this.
It changed the game.
It changes. Yeah, it completely changes the game. And I'm sure they'll get him, hopped up on whatever they need to numb the pain, to make sure that he'll be able to play. And credit to him for being that type of guy. But ultimately, I think the Eagles defense is going to be able to make a play or two that just kind of puts the game in their favor, like force a turnover, like strip sack Purdy, McCaffrey. He's had some fumbles. He's had
Yeah,
some drops, some fumbles, and then you got just the fact that there is a talent deficiency on the 49ers compared to the Eagles, and just eventually over the course of the game, I do think the Eagles defense is just going to have one of those types of plays that just puts it in their favor, or special teams. This Eagles special teams has been an impactful unit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were something that won them a playoff game and people exited games saying Jalen Hurts is a special teams merchant, or whatever they're going to say, right? Because I think we're going to see something like that again. I go back to last year's wild card and divisional round, and I think of how those first two games went. Jalen's not coming off a concussion or like a thumb injury, whatever the other thing was, but it's the
or his
offense.
knee injury that he had.
Right. But the offense is questionable. That's what it was. I think it was knee and concussion, but the offense looks like worse than that. So I
Mhm.
kind of feel like that's what we're gonna get. It's gonna look like one of those games we saw versus the Packers or against the Lions, and it's gonna be like Eagles 18 to 14 or 16, something very close, like you said. But I just think the Eagles are going to get away with it, and I do mean that, get away with it, because the frustrating ways that the
I
Eagles
feel like
happen to
when we
win
pass the
games. But
Niners, the only other team that I look to that I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be a rough matchup is the Seahawks. If I'm being completely transparent, we first the
oh,
Rams, how many times?
right, you
You
guys
know what I
can
mean?
beat them.
We can beat them. You know what I mean? The Bears, how many people were hurt on the Eagles at that time? But also too, on top of that, like it was Black Friday. The Eagles already having a rough time. We just had that shitty loss against the Chargers. Nothing was going right. It's the Seahawks that is the one team right now that I'm just like they literally like toe to toe with us. Like
Well, I'll have something to say about that, but we can save, since the Seahawks are the one seed, they're not playing in the wild card round,
exactly.
and we could talk about them with a bit more emphasis at the end. But I do agree that I think, to me, we already talked about the Rams. The Eagles, Rams, and Seahawks are, to me, definitely the three best teams in the NFC. I think that's the only thing we know about the playoffs this year. But the Eagles might be the most talented team in the NFL right now. I think the Seahawks are probably just better coached. And that's like the difference or whatever. And that means the Eagles can beat anyone. They really can. So I think this 49ers team, they might be way better coached, even potentially on both sides of the ball. Respectfully to Fangio, like what Salah's done with the backups is unbelievable. But it just might not matter. You still need the players to execute out there. I don't think they're going to
Mhm.
be able to. I think San Fran covers, but I think the Eagles are going to win this one. All right, Now, we got 2 games left.